Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew C. Carlet, and I am the first discussant for today. I am going to discuss interpreting formative results. Teacher judgment have always been the foundation for assessing the quality of students' work. More often than not, teachers use their own personal knowledge of the subject area, their understanding and feelings toward the student, and the years of experience in teaching to assess students' academic capabilities. Today, teaching methodology has taken a leap toward integration by which the field of psychology, education, and the science have coalesced to better fit the needs and the strength of all learners. Formative assessment is one form of testing that can be used to help students achieve success with the construct they are learning. O'Malley and Valdez-Pierce stated that formative assessment is an ongoing diagnostic assessment providing information to guide instruction. Formative assessment can also be a way to show the gap between actual performance and desired level of fluency. Liozat, 2011, constructively expressed that if teachers can effectively assess a student using some form of validity, it could ultimately lead to success in closing the gap between the student's interlanguage and actual fluency. Nichols, Meyers, and Berling, 2009, affirmed that formative assessment is an implied claim of validity. If teachers can evaluate formative assessment by applying a form of validity correctly, the teacher could modify their own teaching methods and practices to help the students succeed at language learning tasks in ways that pique curiosity and interest in the material. Here are some ways to what makes a good formative assessment. They are actionable. They are designed so the student responses either clearly demonstrate mastery of the skills and content, or they show exactly where mastery is lacking or misunderstanding is occurring. Next, they assess skills and content that have been derived from the backward planning process. They seek to assess the key learning milestone in the unit or learning sequence. When possible, they are student-centered, using an assessment where students measure themselves or their peers, or where they prompted to reflect on their result, put students in charge of their own learning. It allows students to consider their own progress and determine positive next step. So how should we use formative assessment result? Formative assessment are generally used for planning future instruction and for helping students drive their own learning. In terms of future instruction, how you use assessment data most depends on what kind of results you get. If 80% or more demonstrate mastery, you likely want to proceed according to plan with subsequent lessons. For individual students not demonstrating mastery, you'll want to find ways to interject extra support. This might mean a differentiated assignment, a guided lesson during independent work time, or support outside of class. If between 50% and 80% demonstrate mastery, you'll need to use class time to have structured differentiation. You'll need to build this into the next lessons if it isn't already planned. This means different activities or guided instruction for different groups of students. And if fewer than 50% demonstrate mastery, you'll need to do some whole class reteaching. There are many approaches and concrete strategies for reteaching. Here are some tips and key points to consider. Go beyond the numbers. While percentage and average provide a general picture, focus on the individual stories behind the data. Analyze students' work samples Observe classroom interactions, and listen to student feedback to gain insights beyond the scores. Number 2, identify patterns, but remember outliers. Look for common areas of mastery, confusion, or specific misconceptions shared by a group. However, don't neglect individual outliers. Investigate why a student might be excelling or struggling beyond the general trend. Number 3, consider the context. Remember, assessment are snapshots in time. External factors like student health, motivation, or unforeseen circumstances can influence performance. Account for this context when interpreting results and planning interventions. Number 4, embrace the iterative process. Formative assessment is ongoing, not a one-time event. Use initial results to inform adjustment in instruction, then reassess to gauge progress. This continuous feedback loop allows for the fine-tuning and personalized support. Number 5, prioritize actionable insights. Don't get lost on the data. Focus on takeaways that inform your next steps. Whether it is reteaching a specific concept, providing differentiated materials, or offering individual support, translate your interpretations into concrete actions that benefits students. Number 6, encourage student reflection and ownership. Involving students in interpreting their own results can foster a sense of responsibility and ownership on their learning. Encourage them to analyze their strengths and weaknesses, set goals, and identify next steps. Number 7, celebrate progress, not just mastery. Remember, learning is a journey, not a destination. Acknowledge and celebrate students' progress even if mastery hasn't been achieved yet. Positive reinforcement can motivate students to continue putting in effort. That's all for my report. Thank you for listening.